Windows is probably one of the more dangerous operating systems in the world. Now, why is that? Well, because it's the most targeted. So many people use Windows and hackers are writing stuff for Windows all the time. They want to get your stuff. They want to hack companies because companies use Windows. So for that reason, Windows has to have a very incredible set of security features and tools, which they do. In this video, in this episode, let's do a quick overview of the Windows security features. What good old daddy Microsoft does to help keep us safe. Now let's go to Windows. Your lab Windows or your personal computer of Windows, I don't care. And we're gonna go to our search bar and search for security. They make it really easy to find stuff. And they have a whole app, a whole section, a whole suite called Windows Security right here. Now, Windows Security has come a long way, so you're in luck and very blessed to be able to have something like this. Unless you've been hacked, then you're probably like, Windows Security is terrible. Maybe you didn't have the right settings enabled. We'll talk more about that here in a bit. But let's take a quick little gander, a little overview of what Windows Security is all about. Click on the app. There are 4 main areas we're gonna talk about pertaining to Windows Security. We have the virus and threat protection, which is probably the biggest one. We've got firewall and network protection, which, hey, also is kind of one of the bigger ones. They're all pretty big. Although this one, they're all good. We have the app and browser control, and we also have the device security. And I've got a scary little yellow caution thing. I don't like that at all. I need to fix that. Maybe we will fix that here in a moment. Now, again, this won't be a deep dive. This is just a chance for you to see, hey, Windows actually does have security, even though it may not feel like it sometimes. So virus and threat protection, what is that? Well, as you might be aware of, or maybe you're not, we've got some hackers out there. And these guys are constantly creating all kinds of attacks to try and get into your system. Yes, they want to hack you, but they're creating things like malware or malicious software. Or if you're a cool kid, you'll call it maliceware. That's an inside joke. Don't call it maliceware, please. Malicious software will get onto your computer. It's software like any other app you might install, like a video game or something, except it's there to do something bad. It's there to take advantage of your system's vulnerabilities. And it's this service's job, the virus and threat protection service, to find that malicious software and prevent it from even doing anything. And normally it does a pretty great job. Firewall and network protection. You'll see the term firewall, if you've never heard it before, a lot when it pertains to networks. So think the internet. By default, your computer's configured for you to get out to the internet with no problem. Free reign to go crazy and fly and get all the internet you want. But for stuff to get back into your computer, you don't want that for most things. That's why Windows has a pretty good firewall. A wall of fire. Not literally, obviously, but a wall that will keep things out. And when we're talking about the firewall and network protection service, that's what that is. Again, we'll dive deeper on those here in a moment. App and browser control. This one does some pretty cool stuff, like keeping untrusted applications or applications written by authors they don't really necessarily trust. Like, would you read a book by some guy you just met who you've never heard of? No, you don't want to waste your time. You also wouldn't want to use the software. I hope that analogy landed. So it keeps fishy apps from running, and speaking of fishy, it protects you from phishing attacks as well. And then finally, device security. What you'll see here will vary based on what your computer comes with. You'll have certain security features, hardware options that are shipped with your computer, and it's more device specific, more physical. Like right now, I do have memory integrity off. What does that mean? We'll talk about that here in a moment. Now, before we finish with this overview, the biggest thing I want you to notice is these beautiful green check marks. And I'm colorblind, so those are green, right? You know you're good when you see those. You know you're not good when you see something like this. Now, it doesn't mean the world is ending, because sometimes you might have to disable something, some kind of feature to make something else work. I only recommend that if you 100% know what you're doing, because if you turn something off, you could allow something really bad in. And then one thing I just want you to notice, kind of like a fun little mention that I'm not gonna cover here, and that's the family options. If you have a family of Windows users, which I do, you can control a lot of what your kids have access to, down to the application, which is pretty cool. And that's it for our Windows security overview. I'll see you in the next few episodes where we'll dive deeper into each of these features and functions. See you there.
It's me, NetworkChuck from the future. Just kidding, it's me, Alex. If you want to see tons more great IT courses just like this one, go to academy.networkchuck.com. Link in the description.